up others. You gotta love the mothers. And you gotta hug the ones who bring us joy and love. It's the middle with the moms and the sister day.
Oh yeah, and I was gonna ask you, do you have a good side? Like, do you want me to move the camera to the other side?
I mean, they're equally not good right now.
Yeah, right. Are you serious?
On both sides.
You're crazy. You literally look amazing.
Thank you.
Like, if you do this, you don't look pregnant. But then when you see your belly and your big old titties.
My titties are so big.
They're huge. Big old bitties.
I put this on today and I was like, this one just kept poking out of this. I was like, get back. It's like the best boobs I'll ever have in my life.
Hell yeah. Enjoy them.
I know.
Once that milk's out, it's going to be like,
I know.
Maybe not, though. My mom's, like, always stayed big. Mine are just, like, skin.
Yeah, but mine were never big. And I think they're just going to be stretched out.
That's how mine
They'll
are.
just go back to being, like,
sad.
I love that balloon TikTok thing where it's
They're bouncing up and it's a big balloon and then it's like
everyone always talked about that and I was like, I'm never gonna have those.
Oh my god.
I can already tell.
Oh, I know. You don't think it's gonna happen to you. It didn't happen to me after Chessa, but because I guess I didn't just breastfeed as much and have as much milk and stuff for nowhere near as long.
Yeah.
With Raylan, man.
Well, he's also like a bigger eater probably.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I want to sing ponies so bad.
Yeah, okay, this is what I was gonna say.
Okay.
Wait. Oh, I was like thinking in my head this morning, like what I'm gonna like introduce you as, and I was gonna turn it on, and it's Mike's song, so it's like us three in this episode, but it's Mike's song, and then it kind of fades into the episode. I was gonna be like, I can make your sugar when you're feeling for that sweet spot.
I was thinking that on my way here, I was like, I just imagine like Mike popping out of the corner and we have like a twerk sesh against one of the walls.
And you're pregnant and you're like,
but that's so sad. I'm like, it's not fun anymore. It's like sad now.
We're like old and we can't leave our house. Gosh, it's so crazy.
I miss it.
I know.
But I also don't think I could survive it at this point.
No.
I would die.
I'm actually pretty hungover right now. I'm really hungover. I like have not got to drink like we used to. We were like every nighters.
I don't understand how we survived half of that, honestly.
I don't know either.
When those Snapchat memories pop up, I'm like, who is that?
Oh, they're good though. They're so funny.
They're good, but they're like,
They're crazy.
Never seeing these.
This is really funny. In my notes, in my phone, I have a will. Because one time I had really like bad anxiety about me dying for some reason. Here, get ready. No, I'm just kidding. I hope you don't have my anxiety. But I was like, I got to write something out because I don't have anything like professional or whatever and legit. And so I wrote it in my notes. And one of it says, do not ever get rid of my phone. Download all my Snapchat memories. My kids are going to see how I was. Like,
they're going to remember me fun.
They're going to remember me twerking upside down on cars and me and Brittany acting crazy.
Oh my God.
Those are the good old days.
They were the good old days, but I'm glad some of that is over.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the guy stuff, like, I don't know. It was fun.
It was fun. But it was also, like, when you think about some of the stuff that, not we let happen, but things that we had to deal with, I guess.
Oh, my gosh.
It's sad.
Our life, though, like, we've said this a million times, like, it could be a 1,000% TV show. Like, we should have had a reality TV show because the shit that happened was so unreal and like mind blowing that you wouldn't believe it. That even if it was really bad, me and you would look at each other and be like, and laugh about it because we're like, what the fuck?
I was thinking about that on the way over here. I was like, we could have a podcast just on like our 2013.
We'd have to give everybody like fake names.
Oh my gosh, that'd be really embarrassing for so many people.
Yeah, it
would. Probably me more than anyone.
No, not Lil Peen.
Oh. LP.
LB.
I feel like everyone close to us knows that story.
Yeah, 1,000%. Me, you, and Mike's group text is called Little Scrimps.
I forgot that's even why.
You did?
Oh, God.
That's so funny. Shit. Oh, my God. Okay, I haven't even introduced you yet. Sorry, everybody. Hello, this is my bestest friend in the world and Scorpio bestie as well, Brittany Luckett.
Hello.
Hello. She is absolutely amazing. She is a wonderful hairstylist, a beautiful woman.
Wow.
What am I doing? It's like I'm trying to date you. Yes. I'll take her for 5,000.
Do I hear 550?
Oh man. And she is going not good.
He's like kicking me like, stop.
He's like, what is wrong with y'all? I'm getting hot. I was going to say, she's also an amazing singer.
Oh.
Yeah.
She was at some point.
No, you still are, and you're insanely amazing. And you have twirled.
You've twirled.
What's wrong with me right now?
I'm still drunk.
I'm so hungover. You have toured the world. Just kidding.
Slash, like 4 states.
Oh, well, that's good.
Not singing, just.
We're not
You
gonna
look
get
so
through
impressed.
this. I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, did that I don't remember this.
Oh, no.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, let's get back to my guest.
Yes.
She is also Prego.
I still have imposter syndrome.
Oh my gosh, this is
I
crazy.
know, it doesn't feel real. When people at work like bring it up, I'm like, wait, oh yeah, me.
This is about me now. Like, it's your time. It's
It's weird.
crazy. I need to stop saying it's crazy, but it
It
is
is
crazy. It's
crazy.
mind blowing. Like,
It is.
you sent me a video this morning on Instagram of a mom, and it said my daily conversation with my best friend, and she's like, "Hey, I'm a mom." I know, what the hell? I'm a freaking mom.
Like, what is happening?
I know, like, what? We aren't old enough to be moms. I feel
Well,
like
I am.
Well, me too. But I'm just saying, like, I feel like
Barely.
we're still children.
Yeah. Well, we've acted like it for a long time.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I feel
guess.
like when I'm with my parents, like I'm the kid, and,
Sure.
and then I'm like, oh wait, I'm a parent too.
Right.
Like,
Like we're the next in
Yeah,
line to be like
yeah.
the older.
I know. Stop. Okay,
I know.
that's depressing shit.
I know. I was talking to my parents the other day, and I was like, made me like sympathetic to, you know, sometimes my mom commenting like on her age and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, stop talking about
Yeah.
that. And I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah,
you know?
but when you don't want to talk about it because it makes us sad, right?
Well, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you imagine yourself in that position. You're like, yeah,
I know.
I'm probably going to be the same way.
I know.
Like everything we said we weren't going to do as our moms.
We're turning into them. We're screwed.
Speaking of, when you and your mom did the first one,
Yeah.
I texted you this, but I was talking to Francesca about it. I was listening to it while I was cleaning, and I forgot what exactly the topic was, but y'all said something, and I jumped in and I was like, I didn't know that. And I'm like talking back to y'all because I felt like I was sitting in the room with you. I was like, wait, what?
Like, why are you interrupting me?
And then I freaked myself out. I looked around and I was like,
You were like so into that one. Did you have headphones on?
no. I was carrying the phone literally with me, and I like tried to talk back to it.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
Well, that's because we're very close.
It is.
Whoa.
Thunder.
Oh, this is perfect for us.
It is.
Why do we get so scared?
That wasn't even thunder. That was the door.
we both go. Oh god, we're never okay. Yeah, don't get ready. So, I obviously am so glad that you are on this pod with me. Before you got pregnant, I said I was doing this. So I was like, you're definitely coming on. You're like, what am I going to talk about?
I know. Well, I think because that was like the beginning of February, maybe. It was within weeks that
Yeah.
I ended up
Exactly.
being.
Yeah.
Um.
And I said in January I wanted to do it, but I hadn't even started on anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember you talking about it and then saying that, and I was like, I can talk about what I've observed from other people.
Yeah.
Which is a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I still don't feel like worthy of being here. You know, I still
Aw.
I still feel it's still becoming like real to me.
Yeah.
Still. I feel like it took me forever to even like not just process it, but process the fact that I get to experience it after what, like 17 years of dating and not thinking that that was going to happen for me. So I'm still like, it feels surreal sitting here right now. I feel like I'm in a dream. I'm like,
yeah, exactly. Well, it's not weird that you're in my house.
Well, no, like that I'm talking about this.
Yes, I know.
Thunder.
Yeah, lightning. But what's crazy is you were kind of multiple times came to the conclusion, or at least made yourself think or pretend you were going to accept it never happening.
Yeah.
And so, but I'm telling you, like, I've told you forever that I know you're gonna be a mom, and you'd be like, don't like say that just in case it doesn't happen. I'm like, no, I'm
well,
like,
and I was like, I hope you're right.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think that was such a defense mechanism for me.
Yeah, of course, I would be the same exact way.
Well, my mom, I mean, she had me at 23.
Yeah,
and so I always thought like, oh, I'm gonna be a young mom too.
Yeah,
you know, and obviously the relationships close to that age were, you know,
not baby daddy material.
Not even boyfriend material, really. I mean, you're still learning yourself. I mean, I don't even recognize the person that I was at that age. No. And being a mom at that age, like right now, I still feel like I don't know a lot. But at that point, poor kid, if that would have happened, that's all I have to say. But once I got to like, you know, close to around when me and you started hanging out, probably, and I was like, I like my life. Yeah. It's fine. We were having so much fun. We had so much fun. And there wasn't anybody that was like super present that I felt like was husband material. And the older you get, the smaller that pool becomes. Yeah. My cousin and I were like, I guess we'll just like wait for that round of divorces. Like, see what happens.
Hey, baby. Hey. Somebody woke up. Yeah, I remember you saying that multiple times. You're like, I mean, I'm just chilling because you're like, I don't want people to get divorced, but it's going to happen. So I guess that's what the pool I'll be swimming in. But just for reference for people who don't know you, I guess tell them your age and everything.
So I'm 37. I'll be 38 if I'm on schedule. I could be still 37 barely.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so true.
So my birthday is about 10 days before Bib is due. Yeah. So we already talked about, I guess if we want another one, we better like pull a Camilla and
oh God. Good luck.
Right under the radar. But yeah, it's that period of time when you and I were hanging out, I think that I was fine too. And then when you got pregnant, it was like, you know, my buddy was like, you know, changing her life course. And I think I held on to the, like, I'm still fine with it. Like, I'm still good being a little auntie to my babies. But at the same time, I think it resurfaced that urge.
Of course.
You know, so really, I mean, and up until I met, you know, who I'm with now, I was on that same path as far as like, I'm good. Yeah. And we started talking probably in one of our first few conversations. Do you want any, like, he has a daughter, and it was like, do you want any more kids, or do you want kids, whatever. And we both were like, I mean, I think I would, but I don't think I would have said that to just anyone. No. I think it was just like I would with you. Yeah. You know, and, you know, hoping that his answer would be the same, not even knowing what direction we were going to go in. But, and here we are, like a little over a year later, we found out that here we go. Yeah. Let's do it.
It has been emotional because, you know, you and I, like, I'm about to be 30. So we have a age gap. Like, actually,
it's the first time we'll be in the same decade, like, since we only have Francesca that the other day. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, this is like the first time we're going to be in the same decade.
That is so funny. Mm-hmm. But you cannot tell. Like, no. Well, first of all, you look literally my age or younger than me.
Thank you. Probably not for much longer, if that's true.
Yeah, get ready for this little baby to come out and age you greatly.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we have Botox and
I know.
all that
I
good
miss
stuff.
seeing
Yeah.
Dr. Street.
I know, Dr. Street. But anyway, so our friendship. So we both went to Catholic school, went to St. Louis and then St. Agnes, but we've literally like been in the same circle of everything our whole lives.
Same path.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you have a younger brother, and he played basketball at Christian Brothers, and your dad's the Christian Brothers coach. Like, they were freaking badass. But me growing up, I was in love with your brother. And I was going to get my hair cut at Juve, and I mean, we like knew who each other were. I knew who you were.
Sure.
But you know, we had never like hung out or anything. But anyway, she was like moving, and she was like, "Go to Brittany, like you're in good hands." And then I go to you, and we hit it off immediately.
Yeah.
And discover.
Who was doing your hair? Carrie?
I don't remember her name. Blonde girl.
Yeah.
But we hit it off immediately. We found out our birthdays are a day apart. We're Scorpios. Like, I didn't even really know what Scorpio was until you, and like, wow.
Yeah.
So into it now. But and then I admitted to you that exact appointment that I was in love with Brad, and that I have a diary, and it says, "I love Brad Luckett" all over it, and it's like Camilla Luckett and all this stuff.
Like, will you be my sister?
Yeah, exactly. And we were like, that would be pretty awesome if that happened. But
Well,
anyway.
a funny story. So my baby's dad played basketball for my dad.
Yes.
And I used to write his name in my diary and sign it the same way.
Dude.
We found that when my parents were moving out of their old house, and
Please take a
I threw
picture.
it away. I was like, I'm never going
Brittany.
to see him again. I know. It was so embarrassing when I was reading through it. I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Oh my God.
I know. But I have, like, I'm sure I've written something somewhere with my cousins that save all the stuff.
Yeah.
We played MASH, and I'm sure his name's like all over
100%.
that. But
That's so funny.
when you said that, I was like, I definitely did that.
yeah, that's hilarious. But yeah, and then we were like, let's hang out. We made it happen. And literally ever since, it was like every single day going out.
Well, then we started doing weddings together for a little while
that's
too.
true.
Like we did, I think was Beth's one of the first ones.
Beth
that we
and
did?
Kelly.
And Lauren too.
Yes.
Yeah.
She might have been the first
Lauren,
one.
I think, was the first one
Yeah.
because we did it at Glow.
Yes. That's
Yeah.
so funny. But
love
yeah,
that
started
video.
doing weddings together, and then going out, and then we were supposed to go on a badass trip to California, and weather ruined everything. And we were like, we're not letting this ruin it for us. So we went to Midtown, and each restaurant, we wanted to trick people. Each restaurant was a different country.
Well, we had played up our vacation very high.
Yes.
So we didn't want.
Yeah, we didn't want our
disappoint
Instagram
social
fans.
media followers.
Yeah. Our 10 followers to be disappointed.
Right.
But anyway, and then we met Mike that way, and so us three just like became best friends. And I mean, Chris was in there too, but anyway, so we just had the time of our lives. And so you had gone from, I feel like when me and you became really close, that's when you kind of were more okay with where like your life was at that
For sure.
moment.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't anywhere near,
Yeah.
having kids or getting married or anything like that. So it made it like more, like you feel more at peace with it for then.
Well, I also missed like the, not even party stage, but like enjoy your life stage in college and right after, like when everyone else is doing it.
Yeah.
You know, I was very guarded and like nervous,
Yeah.
like to do anything.
Yeah.
I was very self-conscious. I felt like I didn't grow into myself until
Yeah.
later. Maybe after I started doing hair, and it
Yeah.
like pushes you into this, like forces your personality
Yeah,
out. You have
100%,
to,
yeah.
you
have to
have
be
to,
social.
you have to talk to people. You have to have a certain amount of confidence.
Definitely.
It helps that other people can do your hair, and you can
Yeah.
like choose yourself up a little
Yeah,
bit.
exactly.
So I think that was a big part of like that, and getting back into music
Oh,
is a big part too.
100%. Yes,
Like
you singing.
my confidence singing when I'm in my zone, and when I have like I feel like I sound good.
Yeah.
It's like the most confident I ever
Yeah.
feel.
Heck
So I
yeah.
think those two things combined like kind of pushed me out of my shell.
Yeah.
And sent me into like, okay, like let's go have fun now.
Yeah.
For a little while. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, and we definitely did. and then yeah, a lot of good stories there. I met Wade. Well, I feel like I was on the like path of like I had a boyfriend for like 5 years, and I definitely thought we were going to get married. And when that didn't happen, I was like, I like jumped into another relationship, and I think it's because I was used to it.
Yeah.
And then when you definitely helped me with that. And so nice guy, but not the one. And so got out of that, and I was like, I want to be single. Like, I want to have fun. I'm not gonna, like, if it happens, it happens, but I'm not gonna look for it.
Best mindset.
100%. And that's when it comes, when you don't look for it.
Yeah.
So then, meeting Wade and going up to him, and, me being the one to initiate it. Hey, Wade.
Wade, we're talking
as he
about
walks in,
you.
he had the biggest penis. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But, meeting him, or I guess I was at the point where, when I met someone, I was like, oh, I'm going to make them want me, and then I'm not going to want them when they want me. That's so bad. It's so bad. But I didn't, like, purposefully do it. That just happened.
Yeah. It's nice to feel wanted.
Yeah. But when he did, like, give in and, like, ask me out, I was like, oh, crap. Like, I could actually see myself, like, being with this guy.
And you're like, oh, you want to, like, crawl into a hole for a second, but you're also like, I am interested.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Look at that ass.
Oh, that ass.
Anyway, I was like, oh, crap. So I was like, no, like, denied it, because I knew we were going to be together. Like, I just knew I was going to be with him, and I didn't want that yet.
I remember you going to see him, and you're like, I don't know. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. And then thank God, like, he was like, I'm going to ask her out on one more date. And his dad's actually the one was like, dude, you need to, like, this is your last chance. Like, you might as well, because it was a fundraiser, and me and you were not TJ Mulligan's girls. No. So I was never going to see him again, probably. Right. And he did ask me, and I'm glad he did. But anyway, I don't even know why I just said the story, but we obviously got pregnant really fucking fast.
Yeah.
But you have never, ever said, like if you've met, like, a guy I've talked to, like, he's not, he's nice. You've never been like, oh, he's the one, except for Wade. You literally were like, yup. And you want that to happen with your best friend. And me and you, like, we're like, I don't know if you've ever seen the show Grace and Frankie.
I have.
Okay, well, that's us.
Yeah.
Like, 1,000%.
And that fun with their husbands end up being gay.
Yes. Yeah. Well, hopefully Travis and Wade don't.
Yeah. I don't know. Travis has gotten really good at, like, interior design and things.
Okay, Travis, stay away from my man. No, I'm just kidding. You telling me, like, he's the one, and like, you being like so happy about it, I'm like, oh wow, like, it felt crazy, because I'm like, because you're like my person, like, if me and you could be like Grace and Frankie and, like, not have anyone, I would be fine with that.
We, like, but having the validation from each other has always been big.
100%.
And you can tell when it's just like, oh, well, we're gonna go along with it because you seem like you're good.
Yes.
And unless he hurts you or messes with you, and then I'll kill him.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, and I remember Camilla is notoriously late to things.
Yeah.
And I remember the fundraiser, your mom and I were there before you, and
before my
we were like,
God.
We were like, I actually had to get the fundraiser started. Actually, I remember putting Charlie.
Because Charlie was like, "What do I do?
Can you go ahead and just start? She'll be here. Just, like, go ahead and start."
So embarrassing.
But anyway, we saw Wade, and I looked at your mom, and I was like, I think that's the guy
that I've been, like, talking about.
Yeah. And so she was like, let's go over there. Yeah. And so I don't think I even saw him the night that you met him, because I think I was next door, and I walked over, and you're like, told me the story. He was gone.
Oh, that's so funny.
So I was like, yeah, you showed me pictures, obviously.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I think that's him. And so we go over there, and, like, we're like, hi. I was like, I'm Brittany. And she's like, I'm Camilla's mom. And he was like, hi. He was so nice, but we were like, okay, bye.
That is so funny.
But that's just, like, so typical of just, like, our friendship too. It's like, oh, well, I got it. We're good. He's met everyone, and now you don't have to worry about the awkward introductions.
Yeah, exactly.
But y'all went on a date, like, right after that. I don't even think y'all had been out yet.
on a date. Well, he had asked me twice before, and I said no in a nice way. But then, literally in my head,
it wasn't like, no,
yeah, screw you. But in my head that day, the whole day, that's what I was looking forward to, because I told my friends, I was like, this is the last time I'm going to see him, because no way I didn't even know what TJ Mulligan's was at this point, but I thought he lived in Nashville, honestly. I don't know. And so I was like, we're never going to see each other. So, like, this is the last chance, like, for him to ask me out.
Yeah.
I hope he does. If he doesn't, it's fine. Like, I'm fine. And he did. And I'll never forget, after the fundraiser, like, we're at Huey's. And you were there, right? Oh, wait, you didn't go.
No, I got like pretty sick after that.
So you went home.
I went home.
That's so funny. But
I had like 8 mimosas before I sang.
yeah.
Which I don't know why that was my drink of choice, but it did not so well.
I literally, like, not in a drunk way, but blacked out. And I go up there and you're like, you got this. And you're in the front row and I go, Brittany, I don't remember one word to any song. I forgot every word to every song. And you were like, and you like got your iPad or something. You're like, here, and you're like pulling them up for me, but the service was bad. And I was like,
I don't even remember that.
You don't?
No. I do remember at the next fundraiser, you were singing that Maren Morris song, and I was like,
no one was
like,
listening.
do you want me to sing back up? Yeah. Do you want me to? And you were like completely like,
I was so pregnant. I was so pregnant.
and I was white wine.
Yeah, you were, yeah. But anyway, Wade texted me and I looked at it and I was like, oh my God. And like, so I was like, this is happening. And anyway, so when that was happening, like, I don't know, I'm not going to speak for you, but I feel like us, because we, didn't mean to get pregnant. Yeah. But when we got pregnant, like, I knew, like, you love me and you love my kids. I knew you weren't going to be mad, but I knew, I was like, honestly, I was like, fuck, like, I wanted you to have this first,
I did not ever think that. I guess my initial gut reaction was I'm like losing a part of our friendship. Yeah. And that was like, I think I worded it badly when we talked about it the first time, but it was like I knew things were going to change. Yeah. And not like.
And I didn't. I was in such denial.
I think a lot of people are. They're like, it's going to be fine. Like, we'll just do it like this.
Yeah, babysitter.
Yeah, everything's great. But I mean, and honestly, me feeling the way I felt, like, especially first trimester, I was like, oh my God, like, how would anyone do anything at this point? Like, I don't even want to, like, talk to anybody. Yeah. Much less, like, be out.
Yeah.
But I think that's been the hardest part about being older and being one of the last of my close people to, go through this is you feel like you're kind of looking around like, I'm the last one standing at this point. And it's not like a poor me. It's just like
I probably felt lonely.
We're in different parts of life, and it's when you're growing up and stuff, it's easier to like keep your friendships up because you're all kind of going through the same things at the same time. Right. And then when all your friends start to get married and have kids, things change and they're going to naturally, and you're happy for people. But there is a part of you that's like, will I get to experience that? And if I don't, am I going to have regrets or am I going to be okay? Or like, who's going to take care of me when I'm old? There's so, and just, one thing that stuck out with me is like, I wanted to give that to my parents. Yeah. And, I mean, my dad's wanted to be a grandfather since I was 18. I swear he would have been like, cool. If I but, my brother's very into his job, and, not that he won't have that at some point, but
he totally will.
I think
he'll be an amazing dad.
Oh, he'll be great. But I wanted to, be able to do that. And that's not a reason to rush it, but it's also one of those things that when you look back at your life, you're like, I wish I would have been able to give them this.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's really hard. I would 100% feel the same way. And like, you're the oldest, like it's you and Brad, and I'm the oldest. Right. And honestly, like, it totally would have been okay. But if this didn't happen with me and Wade and the kids, like, I don't think I still would have kids, because him and I's plan was, we'll get engaged in a year or so, and then plan our wedding, do whenever we want. And then maybe in 2, like, we want to have years together, like just us. Yeah. Obviously it didn't happen, but let's say that did. Like with my brother, like Nikki and Allie, they're young, like they're 24, 25, and they're about to have a baby. Like, it could happen today. Like, we don't know. Yeah. So he would have had a baby before me. And I think that I wouldn't have been jealous or angry about it. I mean, I would love that baby, like, no other. But I think it would, like, hurt me a little bit. I would be like, oh, is this going to happen for me? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, you do think about that. Yeah. I mean, I have all the cousins that I grew up with so closely. And there are a lot of them were done having kids in their early and mid 30s.
Yeah.
And we're still close when we pick back up when we're together, but it's so different.
Yeah.
It's so different. And I'm one of the older cousins, and seeing my younger cousins like start their lives like that, I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's awesome. And I'm so happy, and I love growing our giant family already, but it is weird. And then you think about, the ones that, like my brother and a couple of my other cousins that are in the same boat, and it's just hard. And it's hard being like I said earlier, the older you get, number one, the more standards that you're going to have. Mm-hmm. You're not going to put up with the crap that we put up with when we were in our 20s, even our early 30s. And so you're almost jaded at that point. And you're like, I don't even want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Like my circumstance just happened out of, it was God. It had, because there's no way. We've lived in the same city for 20 something years post his high school, and I haven't even run into him. Yeah. And all of a sudden it was like a message on Facebook, and 3 months later we're like, want to have kids? Yeah. So it's it can happen fast, but it's also like, you have this tiny sense of urgency when there's nothing. You're like,
and you feel like a cutoff date coming on.
Yeah. You like physically see the clock. You're like, you hear it. And then it doesn't help when you have friends or family members or your parents' friends that are like, are you dating anybody?
Yeah.
Like,
are you gonna have kids?
Yeah.
Like, are you thinking about that?
I know sometimes people feel like that's a harmless question, but it's a hurtful question. I had a client one time be like, well, are you dating anybody? And I was like, no, not right now. Which, end of discussion as far as I'm concerned at that point. Yeah. And this was a guy.
It was a guy?
And well, listen, his follow-up was like, well, you're not getting any younger. And I was like,
I will kill him. Who is he? I'm just kidding. But
he's like a younger
Brittany,
guy too. It was like weird.
Ew, was he trying to hit on you?
No, he's married with kids. But
that
doesn't really stop with people. But
unfortunately.
Yeah. But it was such a like, I wanted to react. If I hadn't been at work, I think I would have reacted more than I did. But
you probably would have been like, ugh!
Yes, I wanted to be like, excuse me.
Yeah.
But it's crazy how often you hear questions like that. And I know at like our family events, even I'll hear uncles and stuff ask my other cousins like, so like, what's your dating life going on right now? And they're like, it's like, don't ask that. No. If there's something to tell you, I'll tell you.
Yeah, and they'll be there. The person will be there like, leave it alone.
Well, yeah, that, and then the whole like, are you going to have any more kids? Are you going to do this? You just don't know what's going on in people's personal lives. And I feel like that's been such a pet peeve of mine the older I've gotten too, not just for myself, but for other people, because it's like, it's not your business. Yeah. You don't know what's going on with their bodies or with their life or with their circumstances or what they want. They might not even want that. Yeah. And so I feel like that's something people need to be more aware of too, is just mind your business.
Yeah, exactly. And I think some people think it's like a conversation starter. They don't have anything else to say. Yeah. But we need to like start really thinking about that, because like everything you just said, and then when people get married, not everyone's vulnerable on Facebook and shares their life story. Right. So if they're going through like infertility issues and really struggling,
that's so common.
And people are like, are you going to have kids? And they're like, literally just, maybe they just had a miscarriage yesterday or something. Like you just wait. Like they'll tell you when they're ready. And I don't know. It's just,
let them open that door. Like if it's going to be a conversation, let them open that door. And that's been something that I've really tried to do at work with my, especially my recently married clients, that I had one that I was so nervous. This is like, ends up being a happy ending, but I was so nervous to see her when I found out that I was pregnant, because she'd been having some fertility issues. Yeah. And she came in probably a month or two ago, and she was so happy for me. And I was like, God, that's so like, what a gift that, she's just that happy for me. And she's been struggling for all this. Turns out she's pregnant with twins. Whoa. I know. It gave me chills. I was like, oh, thank you, God. Yeah. Like, not just for like, my guilt, but also just like, I mean, she wanted that so bad, and you want that for someone because she's going to be such a good mom.
Yeah. Well, with you also had, I think, a client. I'm pretty sure it was a client just randomly ask you if you were going to freeze your eggs, right?
Oh, yeah.
I remember that, and I was really pissed.
I've had a lot of things like that, and I'm probably an oversharer to some degree, so I put a little bit of that on me because I am extremely open with my clients, and I love that they feel comfortable talking to me, and vice versa. Like, it's like hanging out with your friends all day for the most part. But there's a limit, you know, especially when it's not someone like, you know, you and I where, and you would never blatantly be like, hey.
Are you going to?
It'd be something that we could talk about.
Yeah, we did talk about it before.
Yeah. It's expensive, dude.
Oh, really?
Oh, my God. I think it's like $20,000 just to harvest it, and then storage is like however much on top of that.
Wow.
Oh, I did like look into that in my early 30s.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not cheap. Babies are not cheap.
No, they're not.
Storing your future babies are not cheap.
No, anything, just anything.
But yeah, there's been a lot of stuff like that, and then, you know, opinions of who you're dating and like what's the next step. Even since I've been pregnant, you know, people. I had one client be like, "Is this a good thing?" And I was like,
That's really sad.
"What?"
Yeah, that's what you say with a breakup or something, not with a baby.
Like, no, actually.
Yeah, like, actually, I'm so like, what?
I know.
Wow.
And also knowing like I'm in a happy relationship. Yes, this is this wonderful thing. Life is great.
Yeah.
Life is a wonderful
and
thing.
even if you're not in a relationship,
Like that, what a horrible thing to say.
it's weird. People don't know what to say, and they just don't really have filters. And I think people really do most of the time. The majority of the time mean well,
for sure.
but it hurt. Like, it can really hurt.
Yeah, and it, you know, you learn to shake it off, but it's it can be tough. I have, on the other hand, though, I've asked all my clients that have kids that are pretty young, or, you know, have kids in general, what is something that you like found out that you didn't know, or that something that you were like kind of surprised by, like when you had your kid or went through your birthing experience and all that. Yeah. The first thing I heard, and this isn't after I started asking the question, because I really didn't start doing that until I was pregnant, but I remember when I first started doing hair, a bunch of my coworkers were standing around the front desk, and one of them was like, she's like, you know, like you poop when you give birth. And I was like, what? I was probably like 25 maybe at the time. And I remember like going home and being like, oh my God, what? But it makes sense. Like, first of all, like,
and
it's
everyone
nothing
does.
to, but that was the first thing where I was like, didn't know that. And then I think another one was, one of my clients was like, just don't be surprised when you nurse. Like, it's not just one stream. It's like, it comes out of like your whole, and I was like,
yep. So you just figured that out? Dude,
I had no idea.
I didn't know until
like,
I
how would
had
we know?
milk in my boobs.
Yeah.
And like, it's like spraying out, and it's like a million different little holes. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, I was, and I was like, have this mental picture, and I'm like, what? I see like a sprinkler where you can like turn it from like a stream to like
that's
it. But to that point, pregnancy has reminded me how uneducated we are on what our bodies do and don't do.
Probably to not scare us or something.
I don't know if it's that, or like, you know, us growing up in a Catholic school that was just like, you know, it was abstinence all the time. And so I guess if they taught us about that, they'd think it was like a green light or something.
Yeah, who knows?
But even like, and I don't know whose responsibility that is to teach us, if that's the women in our lives or our doctors or like whatever. But, you know, the infertility is the PCOS that Kelly talked about with you. I don't know. There's just so much that I've learned that like, I didn't know that. And that wouldn't have freaked me out as much if we had been taught more.
Oh, 100%. You don't know anything. You go into it blind unless like your mom or you have a friend who's had a kid or something. Yeah.
Or a friend that's lost a pregnancy.
Yeah.
Like, I've learned a lot about, you know, how your body works with that too. Yeah. And, you know, my own experience. And it's crazy. Yeah. And when you don't have support from your medical team either, that you should have, it's rough. And thank God now we have the same.
I know. Thank God you came over to,
yes.
I was going to say the dark side, but we're not the dark side. We're the light side.
Yeah. It's the best side.
Yes, it is.
Whatever it is.
She's incredible. I'm so glad you're in good hands. Do you want to share that story?
yeah, I haven't even told like some of my family this. So I had about a week of positive pregnancy tests back in, I guess it was January, and they were light. And, you know, you and I always have this like intuition of something's not right,
Yeah.
you know? And so I kind of kept it to myself, aside from like, you know, Travis and you and eventually my cousins.
Yeah.
We had gone out to dinner one night. This is probably like on the 5th day of positive test. And this was the day that I think I told him that day. Because I was like, I can't drink tonight. So I need to tell him anyway. I just had a bad feeling. And so I went to work the next day. I had called my doctor to try to get in. And this was like still when everything was chaotic, I guess. And they were like, well, we can't see you for the next few days. You're coming in the 1st of February. We'll just see you then, unless you get, you know, any kind of pains on your like right or left side or whatever. And I'm like,
wow.
Okay. And so I guess it was 2 days later, I woke up and started cramping really bad, threw up, all the stuff, and bled heavily like all day.
Yeah.
And I called them back. No one called me back for 2 days. And retold them the story, and you know, they were like, yeah, you know, it sounds like a chemical pregnancy. We still can't see you, you know, the rest of the week, but again, here's the things to look out for if you get a fever or whatever. But we'll see you on the 1st, which I think ended up being like that next Tuesday. So I was obviously not excited to go, but I wanted some answers.
Yeah, and you wanted to make sure, first of all, you're okay and to know what's going on. And,
sure.
And they didn't take your age like seriously at all, being pregnant.
No, they didn't take anything seriously.
No.
So then when I got there, this was kind of traumatic, and I was thinking about this morning when I was getting ready, but you know, you fill out the form and it says, how many times have you been pregnant? And I'm like, one, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I guess one.
Yeah.
And so I put one, because that's kind of why I was there, aside from my annual. And so I get back there, and it's I guess the nurse goes through all of it with you first. I tell her the whole story, and she's like, so you've been pregnant before? And I was like, well, that's kind of why I'm here. You know, I was told that I was probably had a chemical pregnancy. I had a week of positive tests, and da-da-da-da. She scratches out the one, and so she's like, so no confirmed pregnancy. And I was like, no.
Why is that big of a deal?
Well, it was just hurtful too.
No, I mean, why
it's
would
like,
she
I know. So I go through the whole story with her. She walks out. She's like, I'm going to go talk to your doctor, blah. And then she's like, she has a student with her today. Is that okay if she comes in too? And I was like, I mean, sure.
Yeah.
So the student comes in by herself, and I go through the same thing I did with the nurse with her.
Oh my gosh.
And she's like, okay, takes all the notes, goes back, and I'm going to go talk to the doctor. Doctor comes in, I tell the same story again. And at this point, I'm just like mad.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is already like a traumatic thing for me.
Yeah. They're making you say it over and over.
Why am I telling y'all like this story 3 times? So, and I think I had told you that even before I was going to this, before I had the chemical pregnancy, I wanted to get all my hormones tested, because we knew we'd want to have a baby at some point. And if there's something I can do now to prep my body, like, let's do it. Kind of push aside, like, you know, your defense mechanism kicks in, and it's like, all right, compartmentalize, put that over here. So what can we do for the future? So she goes on to tell me that she won't do anything unless I've been trying for 6 months. And I'm like, I'm 37.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait 6 more months. I mean, and at that point we were like, you know, if we get married, we'll get married and then do it in the order and all that stuff. And so, I'm like, I'll be 40 and, you know, whatever. So she wouldn't do that. They end up saying like, well, let me check your thyroid and get you a flu shot. They forget me in the waiting room for the blood work. I had to go up to the desk after 45 minutes and be like, hey.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And she was like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot. So sorry. So I'm like,
this is traumatic after what you've been through though. Like,
yeah, it was. And so they take my blood. And at that point, I'm like, okay. And I take my thing up to the front, and they're like, okay, we'll see you next time. So about a week later, I get the results from the thyroid test and, you know, all the other stuff. And it says that they gave me a flu shot. And I was like, well, shit, I didn't even get that. It was so, like, the whole visit was just like, could not have gone any worse. Yeah. And I think I called you that day and I was like,
Yeah.
help.
Yeah.
I can't go back here.
Yeah. I texted Alicia immediately.
Yeah. And she was so great.
Yeah.
But then, so we made an appointment with her for like, the end of March, I think.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting, I didn't even have a period between the two. And I took a test, I think it was like February 22nd or 23rd. So like almost exactly a month later. And there was a line again. And of course I'm freaked out. I'm like, oh God, here we go again.
Yeah.
So I waited 2 days and it was like,
boom. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I have a better feeling. And but when I tell you, I took like 27 tests.
I believe it.
I have a picture on my phone and it's like, I just kept like piling them up because it was like, I'd want to wake up and just like see them. Cause I was like, okay, until I can go have this confirmed, like I need to like know everything's okay. Even though I know that's not like a guarantee to do that. But anyway, so she ends up getting me in right before Dad and Brad went to state tournament. Yeah. And confirmed the pregnancy. So Little Bug was with me for their championship.
And they didn't know.
They didn't know. But then I went to see Alicia for like the first visit and it was like this like
you feel like a million pounds is off you and you can like breathe.
Yeah, and it makes such a difference. And you don't think about it when you're just going for your regular exams, like the bedside manner and like what you're going to need from that doctor. It's not just to like check me out and we're going to go. Like I need more than that. Yeah. And I think this doctor was like kind of burnt out and overworked and whatever, which is not an excuse, but but Alicia's office was just from the front desk to the ultrasound tech to her, like everybody was just like, felt like hugs. You know, it was so much better. Being my age, you know, I am high risk, you know, I'm geriatric, I'm advanced stage.
What? That sounds so
gross.
Yes. For why can they like have a new
I think they did change it to advanced stage and not geriatric, but I don't know that sounds any better. I mean, geriatric is like, I'm like 98.
Yeah, exactly.
At this point, but which would be insane. It was just a way better experience. I did have a funny experience though. Speaking of geriatric, when she was out of town, I saw a different doctor and we were talking about getting the genetic testing done because I mean obviously you want to make sure everything's okay and there is a higher risk as you get older. But we also wanted to know the gender. And so after I'd had my ultrasound, this doctor was like, well, you do want to do the genetic testing, right? And I was like, oh, yeah. More like we want to know the gender thing. I wasn't, I mean, whether I should or shouldn't have been, I wasn't too worried about everything else. But he was like, okay, well, good, because, you know, your eggs are 37. And I was like,
like, what?
Thank you for that.
You should have been like, wait, really? I didn't know.
I'm so like green to all of it though. Like it was just like when I go in there, I'm like look at Alicia and I'm like, what should I be doing?
You're like, help me. Like, can I text you every hour?
If I could. But it's but she does. I mean, she's so good about that though. Like we're joking, but she is great. And I have texted her a few times to ask her some questions, and I'm like, God, I'm so annoying.
No,
but she's been so good.
Yeah. But damn, that's. To say that, like, seriously, dude, you can't think, like, that's the thing, like, if he was joking or something, like, we're pregnant, we're hormonal, like, you already had you had a miscarriage, like, you already lost a pregnancy, and, like, you're going through this, and just that one comment can affect you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, seriously?
Yeah. Luckily, I think you and I, having our own, like, personal traumas, have learned to, like, laugh that stuff off. Or just like be numb to it at this point. Yeah. Like I probably need a whole lot of therapy myself. But
I got a therapist for you.
I know. I'm sure I'm going to need it. I probably already do. But it's one of those things where like in the moment it's like, ugh, ouch. But it's one of those things that you just bring up in conversation that ends up being funny.
Yeah, exactly.
A joke that you tell later on in life. Dark sense of humor of the Scorpios.
Yeah, oh my gosh. So dark. So dark. How has your pregnancy been going? Because I already know, but other people don't.
The first, like, we found out so early. I mean, I don't even think I was 4 weeks when we found out. But so the 2 weeks after that, I mean, I was like a little tired, but I was like, this is fine. Like, I'm good.
Do this.
Yeah, I was like eating all this fruit. I was like, yes, killing it. And like week 7.5 hits, and I'm like, oh my God. Like I've never been so tired in my life. And like I heard people say that before and I'm like, I mean, okay, like
Yeah.
you're exhausted. Okay,
Yeah.
just sleep and
Yeah.
you'll be fine. No. And then, you know, my job is on your feet. You have to be on all
God,
day. And
standing,
you know,
yeah.
I mean, you know, from working weddings, but then you're having, you know, 7 or 8 clients come in a day. You're standing in one position, like doing a color or whatever. You got to pee every 2 seconds. You feel like you might throw up every other second. Your whole body is just like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
And then you're having to smile and be like, so how are you?
How's your life?
How's everything
Listen,
going?
Yeah, you're like a therapist too.
Well, yeah. But my thing was, I like don't remember a lot of it because I think I was so like survival mode.
Yeah.
I felt like even driving, I felt like I felt hungover for like what, like 7 to about 10 weeks.
Yeah.
God, that sounds crazy that it was about 10 weeks of that.
Yeah.
But I think it was 7 to about 16 or 17 that I was like,
Yeah, you were miserable for a while.
it was bad. And we canceled a trip to the beach because I wouldn't enjoy it.
No.
It
You
ended
wouldn't have
up
been able to make it in the car that long.
no.
You're past that stage.
Now I'm just into like swollen ankles and constipation.
Yeah. Get ready.
Super.
I have a lot. You need to ask me the question, what's something you didn't know about?
Oh, I
And-
love this story because I think about it all the time. Like, and
Really?
it sounds crazy, but your post-birth story,
Yeah.
like, has stuck with me.
Good. So then you do know.
Yes, and I had like a similar experience not too long ago. So
No, oh no. See, that's the thing. When I was like, Chesta was low. That's why I thought she was a boy. But Raylan was even lower. Like my
Yeah.
pelvic floor was like holding so much.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like the whole time I was pregnant with him, like I honestly felt like I had to like hold myself to not pee.
well, and it feels like it almost feels like period cramps when you have to poop.
Yeah.
You know, like I was
Were
like,
you ever,
am I okay?
have you been scared that you're going to push him out?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. That's what scared me with pooping. Ew, but no
No.
TMI here. But with Raylan, like, especially, like, I was so constipated so much.
Yeah.
And, like, I just had to sit there because I was like, if I push, like, he's so damn low, like, my water's going to break.
Yeah. Okay. So with the no TMI here, I just tell my story
Okay,
in
yeah.
like the best way that I can. But I was feeling real good this one day, and I hadn't gone in a few days, but that's like normal for me right now. And so after work, I was like, I've got some energy. I'm gonna run over to the grocery store. I'm gonna cook dinner tonight. I'm leaving the grocery store, and I'm like, oh yes, I think I can go. And so I like rush home. Get there and I'm like all ready. And it's like it's coming and then it's like nope. It just stops. And it's just it's there. There's no going back. There's no going forward.
Are you serious?
And I'm like, I don't know what to do.
You didn't do that, did you?
I mean, I was like, I'm so glad someone's not here, but I don't know what someone else would do, but I feel like I need help and I don't know what to do. So I was talking to myself. I was talking myself through it. I was like, just take deep breaths, try to relax everything. And when I sat there for 5 minutes, just like churning and like moving, it was
pinch off.
Yes. And it was so hard. It was not happening. It was like,
I'm crying.
it was like, no, I'm just going to sit here. And I'm like, I'm going to ruin my butthole. Like, everything down there is just
You're like, I know what birth
RIP
is like
at this
now.
point. Yes, that's what I was thinking. I was like, well, I mean, at least I've got a little taste of it.
Very little.
Very little. I know. But it was bad. It finally, did a little reach around and, it was...
It's Wade, but he walked away.
Sorry, Wade. You already know all these stories.
Yeah.
That's been the hardest part of this trimester so far. Literally and figuratively.
Oh my God, I'm dying. I'm dying right now. That is so funny. See, people need to know this because now you know, and now you got your stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I was not warned at all about going number 2 after you give birth. Like, I never crossed my mind,
Yeah.
never heard a damn thing about it.
Why would you? I mean, you don't hear anything about it.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, now people are.
Yeah.
So, I get into episiotomy with Chessa, I have stitches, and I didn't poop on the table.
Nice.
So I guess I remember being constipated with her, but not really bad.
Yeah.
But that was that kind of sucks because then I have to get it out. I have to push this out with stitches on my back.
So if you don't poop the table, then you're going to have a really traumatic poop after? Is that
I
the case?
don't know. Like, I don't know, honestly. I just think you need to, like, okay, let me tell a story and then I'm going to give you advice. Okay. I am at home and I had mastitis. I mean, I was going through a lot.
Yeah, you had a rough time.
Yeah. And I didn't poop for, I'm not kidding, Brittany, like it was almost 8 days. I was in so much
People
pain.
don't realize how bad that makes you feel, not going.
Oh.
Like, I've told Travis about, I'm like, God, and he's probably like, shut up about your poops. But, like, I'll tell him, like, I haven't gone in, like, 3 or 4 days, and, like, I am miserable. And he's like, well, just go. Like, or just drink some coffee. And I'm like, okay, well, don't you think I would have done that if, like.
Exactly.
You know.
I know. Trust me, I know. God, try it. No, I'm just kidding.
It's just, like, you want men to be like, just experience this for, like.
Yeah.
5 minutes,
yeah,
and then you might feel like a little bit. I think I told you, I was like, girls just need to, like, pregnant women just need to live with each other for, like, at least the first trimester and just, like, awesome. Support each other. And then,
I think they used to do that back in the day.
Really?
My pelvic floor therapist told me, like, when women were in tribes and stuff, that, like, when they were pregnant and had babies, like, they were together and, like, the men did, like, the, you know, hunting and
like,
stuff.
I hate it because I don't want to let them off the hook for for, like, supporting you.
Yeah.
But it's also, like, no one understands, like, a woman.
No.
You know?
No.
Tell your poop story.
My poop story. So I'm dying in it, like, 8 days. And so every time this is way too much. Every time I got the urge, though, I would be terrified. I'd go sit down, and then when it'd start coming, like, the stitches hurt so bad. I was like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. And Wade's like, you have to do it, babe. I'm like, I can't. And I'm like,
I can't
crying.
imagine with stitches. Oh
I was like crying. And one day I was so sick. So I don't know what that was. Maybe that was day 6. Well, day 7 or 8. I don't remember. I'm like, I have to do this. I'm like looking at myself in the mirror, like, you have to do this. Like,
come on, girl.
Yeah, I'm like, you got this. Like, it's been days. Like, just get it over with. Like, you have to anyway, so I might as well just do it now.
Yeah.
So I sit, Wade and Chester are taking a nap. I sit on our toilet in our bathroom, and it's connected, and I'm like, I'm trying, but I'm crying. And so I start, like, screaming, but I'm, like, holding my mouth. I'm like, I can't do it in here. I have to go in another room. So I, like, am waddling into the other room, and I am crying, Brittany, like, so hard. Like, a baseball bat came out of my ass. It was that long and that big.
Oh my God. The next part of the story is my favorite part.
I couldn't get it out, and I had to reach behind me and grab it. And, like, pull it out. And I couldn't even wrap my fingers around it. It was so big.
My God.
So then I got it out finally, and I'm crying. I'm bleeding. My stitches didn't rip, but I was bleeding. Wade's like at the door. I locked the door. He's like, are you okay? What's going on? I'm like, just go, please. I'm just pooping.
Look away.
Yeah. And then I, like, look at it in the toilet. I'm like, oh my God.
That's not going anywhere.
I'm like, that ain't flushing. But I try, and then it gets stopped up. And he's like, I'm like, oh, babe, it's stopped up. And he's like, I'll get it. I'm like, no.
You're not coming here.
Like, you're not looking at this. And so I get a plastic bag. And I grab that baseball bat size turd. And I grab it and I pull it out of the toilet, and then it finally flushes.
Oh my God.
It was the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. I would have rather given birth to Wade than ever have to do that again. It was so bad. Yeah, you're right. But it was so bad. So my advice to all of you after listening to my shit story, I wonder how many people turned it off now, but
they're like, can y'all
they're like, pause, or they're like, skip. But take some. I was told by someone that I couldn't take anything because it's in your breast milk. But I actually probably should do some research on it. But my friend I don't know if she's a doctor, but she's a nurse, and she told me that, like, taking Miralax or something, like, is fine. Like, the baby's gonna be fine.
I've had a lot of recent moms tell me, like, start taking stool softeners, like, when leading up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it will make it easier for you.
Well, I bet it definitely makes you poop on the table too, but that's fine.
Yeah, whatever.
Get it out.
They just wipe it up real quick, and
didn't you say Wade, like, lied to you about one of them?
Yeah, he did, motherfucker. With Raylan, it was, like, traumatic, and I asked them afterwards, I was like, did I poop? And they're like, no. Every single one of them, no. Alicia, no. Like, they leave the room. I'm like holding Raylan's like intimate moment where it's like, you did poop. I'm like, why the hell did you tell me?
Right.
And he's like, you asked me. Like, you told me to tell you. And I'm like, well, lie.
Yes.
But I did.
I was already
so.
in like a comforted place.
And I'm like, here's my baby. He's like, hey, babe, you did shit. You did shit the table. Everyone saw poop come out.
Even me.
Yeah.
I saw it.
He watched everything. He watched the whole damn thing. He was like, I'm like, why are you looking at it so much? With Tessa, I like wanted him to because I'm like, I want you to know what I have to go through.
Right.
With Raylan, I'm like, you don't have to.
Yeah, you've seen
but
it.
he literally was like, wow. I'm like, oh boy.
But I mean, that's good that he wasn't like, ugh, you know what I mean?
I know. And now we're fine. Like, we can still go right back.
Right.
But
Still
we
like it.
did today. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding. Oh my God, boy. Lord have mercy.
I loved your episode with Virginia when she said there's no TMI.
Yeah.
And I think that's been one of the best things about listening to this because it came, I think, right on time for me. I was like, did you make
Heck
this
yes,
for
it did.
me?
Yeah, literally. That's so funny.
I've been listening to him while I'm either getting ready or cooking dinner or something.
Yeah.
And, besides the one talking back to you and your mom, I've been like, oh, like I learned something from everyone, but I also like I want to hang out with these people.
I know.
You know, like they've all
Yeah.
had such fun personalities. Like I want to hire Hannah. Like
Yes.
Keisha, I was like, please don't leave
I
because I
know.
really want you. And
She's incredible.
and then Virginia, as she was talking about all the symptoms of your pelvic floor being
Yeah.
weak, I was like, definitely
You're going to
all
need to
that
go.
stuff.
Yeah. Just mine as well go.
I woke up this morning, my tailbone hurt, and I was like, Virginia.
Virginia, help me. No, I love her. We'd never met before and we hit it off immediately. Like that's another thing. Like this podcast is very therapeutic for me, but like I'm getting to meet so many incredible women and like every single person in the world, but for this podcast, every single woman has a story.
Oh, yeah.
Like even though I'm bringing like some professional advice stuff, that woman still has a story too.
Well, you know whose was great too is Kelly's. She was so educational about her PCOS, which is so much more common than we think. I have that. I have several clients that have it that, like Kelly, don't really fit the mold for like, you know, what the typical symptoms are.
Yeah.
And I actually listened to hers on the way to a baby shower that was like far
Oh
away.
my gosh.
And it made it go by so fast.
Good.
But I thought she did a great job too.
Yeah, she
And
did.
you know, that's not her profession. You know, she does a great job doing her photography and all that. But I know she touched a lot of people with that episode too. Being diagnosed at 19 and in such like again, uneducated way. You Google it and it's like infertility and like everything horrible that you can think of related to. And then you see your feature and you're like, I've always wanted kids. I can't have them. And that might have been part of the reason that I was like, okay, I'm fine.
Yeah.
You
maybe
I probably
didn't want to
won't-
know.
Yeah. I don't want to be disappointed if I do want to.
Exactly.
You know, you and I feel like we have such like spiritual connections sometimes. And we're both really close to our grandmothers. And mine passed away obviously before she's gonna meet my kid. But one of my biggest wishes, like even growing up, was I want my grandmother to know my husband and know my babies. And you know, if I had done it when I thought I was going to, she would have. And, but anyway, I had this dream like 2 months before. I don't even think I've told you this.
No.
2 months before I found out I was pregnant. And I turned over and I told Travis, I was like, I just had the weirdest dream. Because we talk about his dad had passed too. And we talk about them being like what pushed us together.
Yeah,
you know?
100%.
And so I had this dream that I was in this like warehouse type of room. And it was like people were getting their, not assignments, but like you're passing out. If you got this like envelope, that means that you could have a baby. And so like, I'm just standing there like knowing that I'm not going to get one, you know, just like watching everyone else get them. And my grandmother walks up to me and hands me one. And then I woke up and I was like,
Brittany.
so I know I was so like, it made me feel peaceful. But I was also so emotional, like
Yeah, but they're crying.
thinking
Like,
about it.
holy
I
moly.
know. And I don't know. I just feel like, you know, through your prayers and through my family's prayers and through her prayers and her, you know, guidance or whatever, that it has gotten me to where I am.
Yeah.
And
I do listen to a Medium podcast, and she told me that you know the difference when like someone is visiting you in a dream, like you just know the difference. And I totally believe that because one day, and like when you realize it in the dream that it's them, that's when you start waking up.
That's true, because I woke up right after she handed it to me.
Exactly. Yep. So I dreamed that I saw my papa, my dad's dad, and it's like I woke up in my dream and I was like, oh my God. And I started bawling, crying, and we were hugging, and I felt him hugging me, and I was crying so hard, and I was fighting to not wake up. And I woke up, I was bawling, crying, like in real life. It was amazing. Like I was like crying like the whole day, because I was like, I thank you, Papa.
It's like therapeutic.
Yeah, it was amazing. I don't know what to say.
I don't know how we got to this point. I interrupted you for like my crazy story, and I don't even know where we're going.
What was I saying?
Went from poop to like medium.
Poop to serious stuff.
Angels, prayers.
Yeah,
and poop.
angels. That's the episode's name. Angels, prayers, and poop. Oh my God. That's so funny. Do you want to like give a message to anyone who you were in, like, are in your shoes now, to like have hope, and also kind of, I don't know. Do you have anything like that you want to say?
I guess I would just say, I mean, you don't want to even say have hope, because like
it might not happen.
It's hard to say that. And if someone had said that to me, like, your time's coming, and you know, I'd be like, when?
Yeah.
Like, but I do believe, like, you know, find your own happiness and do things for you. Don't be scared to put yourself out there. If something's not going right, definitely don't stick with it just because you want this life and you want a kid or you want a husband. And I think that would be my advice, more than like have hope, is just like do things for you and do things that make you happy and put you.
Whoa.
That was a
Did
big
you
one.
see that?
Yes.
Whoa. Sorry, lightning.
Put yourself in situations that, you know, leave you open to that if that's what you want. And also that it's fine if that's not what you want.
Yeah.
You know, it's,
100%.
you can still have a very fulfilled life and be happy and do all the things without, you know, having a husband or having a baby or whatever. That's not for everyone. But I would say if you do want it, like, look into as many options as you can too.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need a man.
Exactly.
You know?
I mean, we talked about that. Me and you even talked about, we were like, we could raise it together.
Absolutely. And I know sometimes like financial issues come into that and whatever, but you know, if you have the support and you just want a kid that bad, like if it's not adoption or, you know, donor or whatever, like use your resources and use your family and friends. If that's what you want, you'll be supported. Yeah. And if you're not, then fuck them.
Yeah, exactly. Bye. Get rid of them.
But I think the biggest part is just to find your own happiness. And I think once you do that, then the things start to fall into place. Whatever that's supposed to be.
Yeah. And be surrounded by people who make you a better person and make you feel good about yourself, because that was the thing with me and you. Like, you were my first friend ever that actually made me feel good about myself.
Same.
And like,
I think that's why we continued to hang out for so many years.
Yeah. I never felt bad about myself. I was truly myself always, and I found who I was and who I wanted to be.
Right.
And you know, you're constantly growing and changing, but
Absolutely.
If I did marry my college boyfriend and we had kids young, obviously a big mistake, but nice person, but just
insane for me.
I don't know if I would be where I am right now. And I'm glad that I got to be where I was before the kids, because I was very confident in myself and confident in myself being a mom. And if you're not there, and you know, then that's okay. You will find your way. This was just my journey, but surrounding yourself with people who make you a better person. And also, like, not punishing yourself for your mistakes. I think that was a big one for me that like held me back for a while. Is I should have done this instead of this, or what if I had not done that, or if I hadn't stayed with this person, or I hadn't taken this job, or if I'd done this thing. Like, you can't play the what if game, because you're going where you're supposed to be going and you'll get there. And I've had this conversation before, and I think it can go either way. But I think my past and my mistakes and my darkest times are what made me find myself. Absolutely.
What made me like who I am, and a stronger person, a better person, a person that has empathy and sympathy and can see the world in a more non-judgy way.
100%. Yeah.
So I think just not being hard on yourself for decisions that you make is a is a really big one too. Here we are.
Yep. And now you're knocked up with a sweet little boy that's gonna be Ray Ray's best friend.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
Oh,
for that.
I'm so glad.
He's probably gonna be like the size of Ray Ray when he comes out.
Probably.
I mean, Travis and his brother were 10 and 11 pounds when they were born. So
Brittany.
R.I.P. to the VHG.
That needs to be the name of the podcast. Damn it. How
my
big were
my
you?
brother was like 9.
Yeah, he's huge too. Oh God.
I was close to 8. So
How tall are you?
short. I'm like 8'4". I mean, I was saying 8 pounds. I am a giant.
You said that so seriously that I was
I'm
like
8'4".
waiting for you to. You're like, I'm 8'4".
I'm 5'4". Like in the WNBA like record books.
I'm so short. I'm 8'4".
Oh my God. No, I say I'm so short because like I imagine if your parents are both taller than you, like something happened. Like you should be like an average of your parents.
Is your mom taller than you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
5'6".
Okay.
And my dad's 6'3", so you'd think
Yeah.
I'd fall somewhere in there.
Yeah,
but I
and
think
Travis
they
is like
just-
6'4", right?
Yeah. Brad's 6'5", so it's
Oh
like,
my God, I forgot how
know.
tall he is. You're gonna have a big old baby. But you're gonna be okay. You've got this. Your body knows what it's doing.
stool softeners.
Your stool softeners. Your doctor, like you are in good hands. Like I hope you feel.
Yeah,
You've
I'm
got to
excited.
feel so confident about
do.
going in there.
I do. I think I wouldn't if I hadn't switched.
Oh, 100%.
That's another like big message is be
I know.
comfortable with your doctor.
Yep, I'm
and
having her come. Obviously, there's other good ones, but and I know I'm all about Alicia, but she's coming on here, and I'm very excited for her because I want to have some questions. Like maybe make a post and people say what questions they have for her or something like that. Yeah.
She's good at answering them too. She doesn't like nothing's fear based. It's very like just to the point, but also like you got this.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Oh yeah.
It's not like, well, just make sure you're not.
Oh,
it's
for sure.
like,
I was so nervous about being pregnant with Chelsea because I didn't know anything, and like none of my friends had been pregnant. And I was like, "What do I eat?" Blah blah. And she was like, "Oh, you're fine. Just don't eat soft cheeses and blah blah or whatever." And I was like, "Oh." Like other people would have been like, "Don't ever eat," like scaring the crap out of
stay
you.
away from it.
Stay away from it.
Just have nightmares like sushi. Yeah. But I still like, even though she didn't even say anything about that, but I still like, I'll Google like ingredients to be like, can pregnant women
100%. Oh, for sure.
And most of it's like, yes, you're fine.
Yeah, you are fine.
I really want a Lenny sandwich though.
I know. Well, you can like microwave your meat.
I know, but it's better cold.
I know. That was like Hannah Allen. She's coming tomorrow. That was her. Yeah. That was her biggest thing. She's like, I want a sandwich so bad.
She told me at the, she was at the shower that I went to the other day, and there was like some really good food there. And there was like a charcuterie plate and stuff. And you know, Hannah, she's just like, she's funny all the time. Like she makes me laugh. So she comes out there with a plate and she's like, go get some food. It's so good. And she goes, I ate prosciutto when I was pregnant. And I was like, well, permission granted.
Yeah. Right.
But you know, her being like a nurse and so good at her job too, it's funny to see her be like, she's so like mischievous. She's like,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I didn't know about the meat thing, or I didn't remember about it with, I knew about Chessa, but cause I would microwave it.
Yeah.
But, with Raylan, I forgot, and I was like eating sandwiches. I was like, oh,
but I think it's probably like, it's precautionary. I mean, I think
for sure.
it's probably always fine, but you just don't want to take that risk.
Yeah. Because if something's wrong with it, I think that's what it is.
Well, and like our parents didn't do that with us, you know?
Yeah. Thank you so much that's what I was saying 20 minutes ago. Thank you so much for being vulnerable for everybody. I know it's going to make a lot of people feel better and not alone, because I know a lot of people don't talk about this stuff. So that's what I love about this podcast. So
yeah, I'm so proud of you. It's been therapeutic for me, for sure.
Good. And yeah, this is perfect timing for you, isn't it?
Yes.
That's funny.
I mean, with the first one, listening to you and your mom, I was like, oh, this is cute. And then was the next one Kelly?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like learned so much from that one too. And I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
And everyone since then, I've been like, this is just like so on time.
Yeah. You might like know things, but like you aren't thinking about it or something. Like just hearing it on a podcast, like someone listening to this did not know about the poop, the after birth, the PPP, the postpartum poo. They didn't know about it, and they're going to get some stool softener. So like, you know, you just got to hear that stuff. And
even if it's one thing from each episode, like that's even been my thing. And then the doulas that you had on there, like, I learned some cool stuff with that too.
Definitely. But I'm so happy for you.
Thank
You
you.
deserve this.
I'll
You're
take
gonna
that.
be the best mom. Like
Oh,
you
I
have.
hope so.
I've known like you've always wanted to be a mom, but you have never once to anybody made it seem like you're upset that someone else has a kid, like ever. Like you love my kids, like they're your kids. Like you love your nieces and nephews so freaking much. I'm like, God, like you are the best. You're gonna be the best fucking
Aw,
mom.
I hope so. Well, they are. I mean, I just love babies. I mean, I've always had like it's like, just give me it.
Yeah.
Like, let me hold it.
Yeah.
I hope that transitions over to motherhood. But
I am so thankful that you have stuck with your guns with every single past relationship ever, because I'm telling you, like, Travis is the one. I've already said that.
Yeah.
I freaking love him. He is like what I feel like people like pictured him, like when they pictured you with someone.
yeah, that's my
you,
mom and dad.
You
are
didn't date
obsessed
anybody like him.
Oh my God, no. I know. I told my dad when I was in high school, I was like, I'm never going to date the cookie cutter Christian Brothers guy. And like,
And
look at me now.
Yep. But he is incredible. He,
Not that he's a cookie cutter.
No, no, but he's incredible. Everyone loves him. He already is a dad. Like he's going to be an amazing dad. He's been through this, so he's going to be able to support you so much with it. So I'm just so freaking happy for you. And I love you so much.
I love you so much.
I can't wait for her birthday.
Oh my gosh.
Even though you're going to be
I'm gonna
pregnant
be
as
so
shit.
fat. Yeah.
So
Maybe he'll come a few days early and we can party in the hospital.
yeah, for your sake, I hope he comes a few days early. But we'll see. We'll just be praying for you because he's going to be a big bub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like clenching everything as we're talking.
Relax your pelvic floor.
I know.
Virginia.
Don't do the Kegels.
Don't do the Kegels.
That was
my
a surprise to me, actually. That she
Yeah.
said that.
Oh my God. I can be your sugar when you're feeling for that sweet spot. Put me in your mouth, baby, and eat it till your teeth. Okay, that's really nasty.
Yeah, that is so
Something's wrong with us. Jessa's new favorite song. You know what she does when we get in the car?
But
Mommy, I want to listen to Miss No Booty. She goes, rocking everywhere.
how did she even hear that?
I let her listen to my Spotify, and because she like listens to Disney music on there, and I love that. My daughter doesn't even want to watch TV; she wants to listen to music.
Love it.
Well, she shake your booty. The shake. The song was pulled up because I played it or something, and so when she clicked it, it was like other songs
Other
like
booty
this,
songs.
booty songs.
Yeah.
So now that's what she's like, Miss New Booty, and it comes on. It's like booty, rocking everywhere, and she's like. Yeah, and Raylan goes,
I can't wait to
his
see.
hand. Yeah, we'll go outside and you'll see.
God, I can't wait to see that.
Anyway, I love you so much. Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.
La, 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 la. Wait. do the ochre.
This one's for the mothers. You gotta love the mothers. And you gotta hug the ones who bring us joy and love. It's the middle with the moms and it's your day. I said now this one's for the mothers. You gotta love the mothers. And you gotta hug the ones who bring us joy and love. It's the middle with the moms and it's your day.